Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Auliya Hasanah. I'm from English Education Study Program, Kuningan University. So here I'm going to explain the material about language and mind to fulfill the midterm test of language philosophy. So this explanation based on my understanding. And then we are going to talk about the first. Language is one of the most powerful abilities humans possess. And then the second is language is used to communicate thoughts from one mind to another. And then third is without language, how can we think? And then the last, we are going to talk about how does a language work. So let's move to the first point. It is language is one of the most powerful abilities humans possess. So according to Zagada 2020 says not just one language is spoken on this planet. Today there are more than 7,000 languages, and then all of these languages are diverse in many ways, including their sounds, vocabulary, and structure. And also in this world, every country has its own language. For example, in Indonesia, each region has its own languages, like a lot of languages in Indonesia, even it is different villages sometimes have different languages. This is happen because the community group create its own words or language to be used with its own community group in that village, like that. So for example, in Kuningan area where Sundanese is spoken, the word for spatula in English, but in East Kuningan it is usuk. While in West Kuningan, it is Cicungkir, so it's different. That's because we are so far away and the community coined the words. And then the second point is language is used to communicate thoughts from one mind to another. So the pieces of linguistic information that enter a person's head from another person allow them to consider a new concept that has far-reaching implication for their knowledge, conclusions, and also behavior. So everyone has different perception and then thoughts about something. So, for example, the language used in WhatsApp chat will have a different perception if you read it in the wrong tone. Yeah, if you read it in the wrong tone, and then it will create misunderstandings. So language and thought are strongly connected in communication because a person needs to think and to capture the meaning, the context, and after that the conclusion in their brain. And then humans must think about their next behavior to reply or respond to someone's speech using language, of course. And the next point, the third point, it is without language, how can we think? So there is a challenge from Carmelitano, 2019. So try to think of something or plan something without language. So if we think of something without language, it will be nothing, right? Because our mind does not know what the name or language of the object, place, or whatever it is in our brain. So even if it is crosses our mind, if it crosses our mind, we will not be able to produce it into speech or even a written because of the language. Yeah, because of the instance of language. So for example, if we think of a supermarket, we may picture the shape of building and then the atmosphere in our brain or mind, but we cannot know that the place is called supermarket. So we just know in our brain. So the last point is, how does language work? There are five. The first is visual cortex. It is receive written words as visual stimulation. When we read words, phrases, sentences, or paragraphs, we written in written form. This part of the brain will process the words then it receives. And then the second is angular gyrus. So this brain, it transforms visual representation in an auditory code. This part of the brain will change the visual form by processing it into the way people pronounce the word that we have read through the visual. So the third is Wernicke's area. Wernicke's area interprets auditory code. It means transforming the sound code in the angular gyrus into the meaning that we capture after processing in this part of the brain. And then the next is Broca's area. This part of brain is control the speech muscles via the motor cortex, and also this part of the brain is responsible for controlling the speech that enters the brain to be processed, like that. And the next is motor cortex. This word is pronounced. Is the process of word is pronounced. So this part of the brain will capture the words spoken by someone to be processed in order to capture the meaning of the word. So it is the process in this part of the brain to capture the meaning of the word. So that's all from me about the language and mind. I'm sorry for all my mistakes. And then thank you for your attention. Thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.